Welcome back. You're tuned into Closing Bell. We are coming to you live from the CNBC-TV18 Motilal Oswal newsroom. Well, the markets are holding with gains, but from the top, the Nifty has slipped close to around 50 points or thereabouts. Still up 75 points, but at the high of the day, we were up 130 points, which is a good time to get in Nimesh, who helps us out with D-Street Chatter. Nimesh, it's still a good session.
Yeah.
Breadth of the market is still positive, though those lines have narrowed a little bit. But how are you reading this?
But Nigel, today's day is purely for the broader market stocks.
Yeah.
Like the mid-cap indexes are up almost 1%. So after one and a half weeks of consolidation in the broader market, today there is a bit of interest back in that space. So it looks like the start of the week is largely on the mid-cap and small cap. Having said that, the flows are quite muted. So the larger flow seems to be in the large cap names in the last many days. But today seems to be a muted day. There is lack of participation, is what I understand. The only space which has seen some bit of buying interest, especially from domestic mutual fund, is IT for the second day running. We saw a big rally on Friday after TCS numbers and Infosys numbers, but at least that momentum in buying into IT stocks continues from the domestic side. The other sectors which have done well, relatively well today, tires have done well. I'd spoken about a possible hike from MRF, and that's at or above on the entire tire space, so to speak. Pharma has done selectively well. There were some news-based reactions as well, and also some select PSUs is back in action. So that space has done well, but not much from the larger institutions overall. From a trigger point of view, I think earnings is going to be a big trigger. That's going to have an impact on individual names. But now everybody is watching out for budget. So it looks like the lack of participation is because of the budget down the corner. There's a bit of caution, and they just want to get out of that way, and then probably they'll commit more. But the momentum in the broader market seems to be. At least that looks like for real, at least in the short term.
Okay, all right, Nimesh. But let's get to individual stocks then, since the broader markets are in focus. What are the news bits you're picking up on individual stocks?
Well, the first is the large cap name ONGC. That's been a big mover. In fact, it's seen a bit of a technical breakout as well. And I understand some larger HNIs are quite active in the last many days, and hence a big move in that stock. So that's the first name. The second stock is Pearl Global. This is going to be interesting. 730 odd stock. There is a large block as well, 2.5% equity. And after that, you've seen a sharp recovery as well in that stock. I understand some domestic mutual funds were buying in today's block deal. And additionally, the company is likely to raise funds via QIP very soon. So that's the reason why you've seen some bit of action in Pearl Global today. The third stock is Macrotech Developers. Again, a big move in that stock. The volumes on the higher side. Large part of today's pullback is largely because I understand the selling pressure from a leading FI fund is largely over, and some domestics have started buying again. So that's the reason why you've seen a big move there. And the last one is Onward Technologies. That's not something which you talked up too much about, but it's a decently institution-owned stock. It looks like some bit of interest is back from larger HNIs, and that's the reason why even that stock is buzzing in today's market.
Okay, all right, got it. Nimesh, thank you very much for that. So those are a lot of the stocks that are on Nimesh's radar today. With that, let's get back to some trading.